Welcome to Spotlight Features, Safe Communities. Join us as we hear stories about local people across the country who strive to keep their communities safe. In the spirit of respect and truth, we honor and acknowledge that this show was filmed in the lands of the Anishinaabe people of Fort William First Nation, signatories to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850. Welcome to Spotlight Features, Safe Communities. I'm Darcy Fleury, Chief of Police for Thunder Bay. I've been in Thunder Bay for just over a year after having a 36-year career with the RCMP and having traveled throughout the country in different postings. During that time, I've become aware that it takes the entire community to be involved, not just the police, to ensure that our communities are safe. In our first story, we dive into the heart of Sault Ste. Marie, where the battle against addiction takes a unique and compassionate approach. Andrew Ross, a dedicated peer support worker with the Canadian Mental Health Association, stands on the front line. But in this fight, the weapons are understanding, support, and resources. It's about more than just intervention. It's about hope and the belief that everyone deserves the chance to find their way back, no matter how many attempts it may take.
People have to make their own decision when they're ready to do something. What we can do is try to make it safer for them and for the rest of the community at the same time, and then provide them the supports and the information they need for the services that are available to help them out. But that's what I think it takes to be here, is to know what's available for people and be able to communicate that in such a way that you're not telling somebody what to do with their life, you're giving them an option. My name is Andrew Ross. I'm a peer support worker with the Canadian Mental Health Association in Algonquin District. Seven days a week, basically at various times, but we patrol the downtown area between East Street and Gore Street. We provide harm reduction supplies, somebody to talk to, and hopefully some short-term supports, kind of being the person before any police intervention or anything like that happens. Having somebody that's there strictly to support them for the needs that they have in the moment. There's a lot of things happening in people's lives, and sometimes you're having a bad day and you don't necessarily need police intervention. You just need somebody to either talk to or help you find the right people to see. I can't affect everybody. I can't change everybody's mind. What I can do is give them the information, the resource, the tools to make a choice.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Addiction, it's going to take, it might take multiple tries before something lands for somebody, right? And I think you support it every time. I think each time somebody goes to detox or rehab, that's a win for them. And they may be back there again 6 months later, but hey, they went the first time and they're going back. I think that's all positive. There's a lot of appeal in the sense of I've never really worked direct frontline in the community like this. And I know there's a lot going on in our community when it comes to addictions and mental health. And, being able to help where I can just seemed appealing to me. And it's been a rewarding job for me. It makes me feel good to be able to help somebody. Whether that's a conversation or it's a direct assistance of some sort. These are just people struggling on a given day. If we can help them, then maybe they struggle a little less, maybe they find a little bit of peace, maybe they'll be able to move on.
We have to hit the road. It's a pleasure. Yeah, nice to see you guys. Appreciate it. Awesome.
Meet Chris Caudell, a young man who is redefining what it means to serve and protect his community. At the age of 16, Chris joined the ranks of Cranbrook Search and Rescue, not just to be a volunteer, but to commit to the safety of those around him. Now 5 years into the mission, his drive has only intensified.
I was raised in Cranbrook, so being able to help keep the community safe, it means a lot. To know that we'll have people there if anyone needs help is pretty awesome. It was during summer camp with Army cadets that I decided that I kind of enjoyed first aid and that kind of stuff, and I was looking around for volunteer opportunities, and I saw search and rescue, and the minimum age was 16, and that summer I turned 16, so I thought, might as well give it a try. One thing I didn't expect was the amount of training required and the teamwork between everyone. It's quite a close-knit team.
It's very rare that you have somebody that young that wants to be part of it, at least my experience. But to have the maturity level at that age was really, really surprising.
If the white would fail, then your whole stretcher would swing and only be hanging off one side.
I always enjoyed teaching through Army cadets, and then once I learned more of the search and rescue, I thought if I know it, I might as well pass the knowledge on. It's pretty cool for me watching people come through the door joining search and rescue with minimal experience or training, and by the time they're done their GSAR course and become active members, they're able to respond, and I trust them, they trust me. It's pretty cool being able to see their growth.
I think anybody coming in, when they see Chris and his role as a team leader, if that's what he's put in on a task, they can say, hey, if Chris can do it at his age, I can do it. It's great to know that there is people out there that are coming up that still legitimately do care. They do care for their community. They want to make a difference. If the rescue medicine is available, it should be given.
What I like the most out of this is the relationships I've been able to make. And just being able to help people. Any search that we find someone and are able to bring them back to their loved ones is pretty awesome. I really enjoy knowing that I was able to help someone or someone's loved one.
Next, we explore a story of personal discovery and social change. After learning about her own neurodiversities, Kimberly Van Ryn from Orangeville, Ontario, transformed her experience into action by creating a welcome space for others like her. We'll see how Kimberly's journey led her to advocate for inclusivity and educate her community on embracing neurodiversity. See how one woman's commitment is opening hearts and minds, making a real difference in the lives of many.
People with disabilities were hidden away in our communities. And so the attitude in our society very much was, if someone looks or acts different, we're gonna take them and we're gonna put them in these big, what they called hospital schools, so that nobody else in society has to look at them, has to deal with what's going on, has to really have any sort of weakness put in front of them. And when I was diagnosed with my own neurodiversity, I needed to see a new way forward for myself in an understanding about what's different about my processing style. And so once I really came into that space, the motivation became stronger because I knew what I would have liked to have in the past around support for my own neurodiversity, which is a sensory processing disorder. And then that I could start to really understand how other adults need the same thing as I do and how none of those needs are special. I'm Kimberly Van Ryn, and I am the founder, owner, and operator of Branching Out Support Services. I came to the field of developmental services probably just under a decade ago. And when I came into this field, I probably had some very different ideas about what disability was. And as I started to work with and learn from the individuals that I was supporting, I began to see needs in a different way than perhaps we were addressing them in our field. And so really the motivation behind branching out support services was innovation. To be able to test and serve people in a way that provided more choice for the individual user of the service.
Look at my water. I love this water bottle. Where did you get the sticker though? Who did this on a Cricut for you? I don't know.
What we do here on our site is have safe space where adults with neurodiversities and disabilities can come and receive high quality program, purposeful activities, and have really good professional supervision, because they may have some things in their processing or in the way they manifest their behaviors that require some extra support from professionals around things like safety, hygiene, working on skills. So we provide that service here in this space. This place is important to the community because it says something about who belongs. And what it stands for is that everybody can have a place in downtown Orangeville. And if that's true, then that means the same thing about other places that in the past traditionally have not been fully inclusive or fully accessible for people to get into. I think it's about setting an example, and it's about telling the community that it's possible. Because in the past, it hasn't been possible, right? We didn't have ramps that we could ramp everyone into every heritage building in downtown Orangeville. We do now, and I think that's the movement. That's the ripple effect, that you do something and you do it to the best of your ability with the knowledge you have at the time. It is motivation to keep going. That this work is not done. Hopefully one day it will be. I hope that one day I don't have this job anymore, because that means we got it. It's motivating because I have seen the entire town of Orangeville change its language around this topic of neurodiversity.
Say hello. Say, my name is Jada.
Why can't you see you're you? Hey guys, it's Jada and why can't you see that your mom forgives you for all the tears you made her cry. She forgave the girl you wish you hadn't hid behind your world. She traveled even when you unraveled. She left her own behind. Your dad loves you even though you pushed him to the side. His best intentions never measured up to.
Next, we journey to Nelson, BC, a town celebrated for its exuberant nightlife and electrifying music scene. Yet, where there's a celebration, challenges can arise, some with consequences. This is the backdrop against which Team Consent emerges. Dressed in pink, these party angels have a mission to ensure that fun remains safe and respects boundaries. Team Consent is showing Nelson, and perhaps all of us, that the best nights out are not just about letting loose, but looking out for one another.
do what I wish that I had. I do what I wish that my friends had, what I wish that our daughters had. I've been working in social services, in some form of social services, my entire adult life, and with the young moms that I work with, you know, we've done workshops on body safety. We've done workshops on Party Safe 101 and how to keep themselves safe. And it's like, okay, how could I do it one step further? It's like, oh, actually being in the bar and being at the party. And it's like, that is one step further in the prevention. Team Consent's main goal is to prevent sexualized violence. And obviously we see the correlation between drug and alcohol consumption and sexual violence and harassment. And so we are out reminding people to respect other people, to ask the ongoing questions. Like, consent isn't a permissive, can I do this thing. Consent is freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific. So definitely when we see women, vulnerable people, minorities who look vulnerable, we're going over, we're asking where their friends are, we're asking who they came with, we're looking for a more sober support for them. And if that support's not any more of a support, we'll send them home in a taxi or just stay with them. We do a lot of holding hair while people are vomiting. A couple months ago, we were out. It was a very busy night, and I was tending to one kind of medical emergency drug incident, and my partner went into the bar to look for their support person, and she was walking by a woman who went down like on the spot, unconscious, unresponsive to pain. So we stayed with her, and the paramedics did come, and we had suspected that her drink had been spiked because of how quickly she went down, and it had been. It turned out that it had been, and just the mere presence of Team Consent is some prevention, but we can't prevent everything. But we did prevent the sexual assault that had been planned for that drink spiking. And like that right there is why I go out until 3 in the morning on New Year's Eve or Canada Day or Halloween when I could be doing other things. After we talk about consent and after we talk about vulnerable people, like, it really does empower the average bystander to pay more attention. We hear a lot from people that our words are echoing in them. And that's what we hope. We hope to spread it through the community. And I would love that we're not needed anymore, and just have everybody being on bystander patrol and everybody being aware of what to watch for, because we really need to prevent the sexualized violence.
In the scenic backcountry of British Columbia, a land adored with the beauty of nature, the challenge of illegal dumping are lurking. Kane Blake, an outdoor enthusiast driven by the profound love for the wild, founded the Okanagan Forest Task Force. This passionate team takes a stand to defend the forest, not just for us, but for the wildlife that calls it home. Together they removed an astonishing 1 million pounds of garbage, all through the power of volunteerism.
We have a license plate that says beautiful British Columbia right on it, and there's many places in the backcountry that are no longer beautiful. It's sad that people come out to the backcountry and leave their garbage or trash it with parties and leave debris all over the place. Every time we came up here, my son would always ask why there's so much garbage in the backcountry. We didn't have an answer, so unfortunately we were raised in a house where you can talk about it or do something about it, and we chose to do something about it. And our group is all about providing a safe community and space for everybody to be. Today we're out here on Postal Lake Road with the RSS forestry class, and we're teaching them the values of our backcountry. Up here we see a lot of pallet fires, garbage, and firearm debris. One of the big things we deal with is chemicals that could potentially be leaking into people's drinking water. A lot of the people that are target shooting are shooting glass bottles, which act as a magnifying glass and it creates a potential for wildfire. Anywhere we can find a dirty backcountry or a community that needs our help, we go out there and do everything we can to clean it up. We started the organization in September of 2016, and from then to today, we've removed 1,014,000 pounds of garbage from the backcountry. We get upwards of 150, sometimes even more volunteers. Our group is based on volunteers and having community members come out and help keep the backcountry clean for not only people but wildlife. The wildlife actually start to come back to it and it starts to thrive again.
The award goes to Okanagan Forest Task Force.
This year in 2024 we received the Community Civic Award from the City of Kelowna. It's an amazing feeling for not only myself but all the volunteers that we have and all the hard work that we put in.
Kane does so much for everything out here. Once he starts, he doesn't stop. He's up all day, never stops. His phone never stops ringing. He's answering everybody's phone calls.
Today my son is here and my daughter as well as my wife.
Do you like cleaning up the bush?
When we go camping, we bring my son, who's 16, my 4-year-old daughter, and we teach them all about wildlife, the lakes, and everything that the backcountry has to offer. You know, I can't do this forever, and as much as I would love to, but at some point in time when I can no longer do this, my son would like to take over, as well as my daughter, and do their part to help keep the community clean.
I'm definitely very proud of them. I plan on taking over and obviously carrying on OFTF and making sure that it still stays strong.
So I've learned a lot in the backcountry as well, and I want to pass that along to my family, other families, and the kids and our future generation here.
Coming up next, we head to the streets of Lethbridge, Alberta, where a group of dedicated volunteers take community safety and support into their own hands. The Watch is more than just a patrol program, it's a beacon of hope and a bridge of support for everyone in the community. From offering directions and first aid, providing crucial assistance to the city's most vulnerable. These volunteers are the unsung heroes, making Lethbridge a safe and more welcoming place for all.
I've always had a huge respect for law enforcement and for police. I really respect in what they have to do in a day, and but I also believe in our city, and I believe in this community, and that means everybody in the community. 5 years ago, I was listening to a news broadcast that had mentioned that Lethbridge Police were looking at putting a program together through the city of Lethbridge on putting a resource together that would assist the downtown community, in particular the most vulnerable population. We meet at the police station, we leave from the police station, so once we've got our radios and we're all set to go, when we leave the police station either on foot or with our watch vehicle, we'll just start patrolling different zones, depending how many we have on shift at that particular time. We will start patrolling in those different areas, and we will look and see if there's anybody that we can assist.
Well, you know what, Craig? You're absolutely right. I'm not even going to attempt to try and figure out how you got where you are and what you're going through.
Of course.
But we want to be able to try and help you if we can.
We may come across somebody who approaches us and wants a ride to the shelter. So we will contact a resource to make that, facilitate that and make that happen. We may have what we call an assisted business, where we'll have a business owner who will be concerned about maybe an individual or a subject that's sitting outside their store. We will now attend that, and we'll offer assistance in any way we can in helping those people.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that people involve themselves in different situations and are put into different situations for reasons that we don't always know. And I pride myself on the fact that, and the program prides itself on the fact that there's no judgment. We're here to help whoever needs help. And I think if there was a little more of that, if we could try and spread that, then we want to assist that community that needs it.
I'm proud to be a member of this resource, and I call it a resource because I think if we label it as a program, it sounds very institutionalizing. This resource provides a great service to this community, both the citizens and the vulnerable community. I only see this program growing, and I think promoting this and getting the word out to the citizens of Lethbridge and other communities, I think this could be a program that could work in many different cities.
Thank you for joining us on Spotlight Features. It's been great to learn about all of the different community initiatives happening across the country. We all have a role to play. Get involved and make a positive difference in your community.